Hi, I'm Chad Lewis, Public Information Officer for the Sacramento Police Department. Like many other cities throughout the United States, our city has experienced an increase in violent crime in 2022. These incidents have occurred throughout all parts of our city and reasonably have caused many in our community to ask what is being done to address the problem. The Sacramento Police Department's violent crime reduction strategy includes many different approaches that focus on different aspects of violent crime, including working with community-based organizations to address root issues and interrupt crime, utilizing data to efficiently address people and places likely to become involved in violent crime, and conducting proactive enforcement to remove firearms from the possession of individuals who should not have them.
Between Friday, October 14th, and Sunday, October 16th, Sacramento Police Department officers responded to a variety of calls for service and conducted proactive enforcement that resulted in the seizure of 16 illegally possessed firearms, narcotic pills, methamphetamine, and illegally possessed marijuana for sales. As a result of these seizures, 17 individuals were arrested for related charges. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, officers located an illegally possessed, unregistered handgun inside the vehicle. One suspect was arrested for related charges. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, officers found the suspect to be armed with an illegally possessed, unregistered handgun on his person. One suspect was arrested for related charges. Officers observed the occupants of two vehicles parked next to each other to be smoking marijuana in public. During the investigation, officers located two handguns in each vehicle, as well as narcotics and evidence of narcotics sales. 4 suspects were arrested for charges related to illegal firearm possession, and 2 of the suspects were arrested for possession of narcotics for sales. A bail enhancement was obtained for 2 of the suspects who were found to be out on bail for unrelated recent gun arrests. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, officers found a disassembled firearm concealed in multiple places inside the vehicle. The suspect, a prohibited person, was arrested for related charges. Officers responded to a ShotSpotter activation. During the investigation, officers observed a loaded, privately manufactured handgun on the seat of an unoccupied parked vehicle in the area. Based on the investigation, 1 suspect was arrested for related charges. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, the driver stated that there was a handgun under his seat. Officers safely detained the driver and located the illegally possessed handgun under the driver's seat. The suspect was arrested for related charges. Officers were investigating a domestic violence incident when they received information that the suspect was armed and headed to a location in unincorporated Sacramento County. Officers contacted the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office, who assisted in safely stopping and detaining the suspect. During the investigation, officers located an illegally configured AR-15 style rifle. The suspect was arrested for numerous charges and a bail enhancement was obtained. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, an occupant of the vehicle stated that he had an illegally possessed handgun under his seat. The occupants were safely detained and a privately manufactured handgun was recovered from the vehicle. 1 suspect was arrested for related charges and a 2nd suspect was arrested for an outstanding warrant. Officers conducted a traffic enforcement stop on a vehicle for vehicle code violations. During the investigation, officers located an illegally possessed handgun in the vehicle. 3 suspects were arrested for related charges. Officers were hailed by a concerned community member regarding an armed suspect among a group of pedestrians in the area. Officers contacted and safely detained the group. 1 suspect was found to be armed with a privately manufactured handgun and was arrested for related charges. Officers observed a handgun on the seat of a parked and unoccupied vehicle. During the investigation, officers accessed the vehicle and located 2 loaded handguns. Both handguns were found to be stolen. The investigation is ongoing. Officers contacted a group of individuals drinking alcohol in public. During the investigation, officers located a loaded handgun that had been discarded under a nearby vehicle. 1 suspect was arrested for related charges. As your police department, we remain committed to addressing violent crime on all levels. The incidents highlighted in this video demonstrate the important work being conducted by our officers every day and the dangerous situations that the men and women in law enforcement are routinely confronted with. As your police department, we strive to make all parts of Sacramento safer for all members of our community. Gun violence and gun crimes will not be tolerated.